Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
What up, what up, what up? Yo, it's the Sports Chasers Podcast, Thursday night. Hey, and I'm driving the bus. Hey, and I'm going to introduce the crew. A couple of guys are, we running behind. You have, real life stuff is going on. So, hey, it's us. First, hey, we got Ryan, the NBA guy. What's up, baby?
What's up, brother? What's up, man? Thanks for having me back on. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
No doubt. Mike Mills is somewhere in the roaming around here. So, there you go.
Absolutely. Greetings and salutations. This is Mike Millie on the check-in.
That's what's up. Hey, man. Yo, got a couple guys coming in. The DA, he'll be in shortly. And the angry one, life is lifing. But, yo, hey, we're going to do it up a little bit different. Our host and moderator is not here tonight, so it's me. Here we go.
Shout out to Kev.
Yeah, no doubt. K-Dog somewhere around here, doing big boy things. So, yo, hey, man, let's just start it off, man. There's so much things to go to. We got the NBA, we got the NFL, and, of course, NHL about to wrap it up here shortly. Major League Baseball. Hey, the Yankees 5-1, Mike. Hey, I know you're not counting, but
they swept my Astros, man. So
got you up out of here.
Yeah, but do that in the playoffs though, because we own y'all.
Right. I ain't mad, but that's
because they get the trash cans. They go get the trash cans.
No. That was already debunked 2 years ago after we dismantled y'all in the playoffs.
You right, and I ain't mad at you, yo.
But they're off to a good start.
Good start.
Juan Soto is amazing, bro.
Oh yeah,
and when he gets to Yankee Stadium, oh my God.
Oh yeah,
that lefty there.
Yeah. That porch out there, yeah.
Oh my goodness,
made for him.
Yeah.
So it's looking good. But yo, let's start off with the NBA. Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Well, you know what? It's a lot. We got the NBA. I forgot. You know what? Let's back up. Shout out to
we got March Madness.
March Madness. And
didn't I tell? I've been screaming to y'all for the last 2 years since year and a half. I'm like, man, y'all got to get into this women's basketball, man.
We told you when it got competitive, we will watch, and it's competitive.
No. It's been competitive. It's been competitive. I've been telling you that it's been competitive. Y'all just catching on now to it. You know what I'm saying?
We may be catching on, but we ain't the only ones catching on because half the world was catching on.
Listen, man,
absolutely.
I watched night. Gino Auriemma walk to the championship too many years in a row. That's when I tuned out for a while. I had to.
Hey,
no challenge.
Yeah, Mike Mills. They haven't won in 9 years.
Yeah, exactly. They needed to not win in 9 years.
Okay, so
how many he got?
Yeah, he hasn't won in 9 years.
How many he got?
Oh, he has a ton. I think he's like.
All right, that's why I was like, man, this shit is not it.
Yeah, but he hasn't won in 9 years. So for 9 years, I mean, he hasn't won.
That's good. That means parity. They're more competitive, right?
Correct. But 9 years, it took you 9 years to notice that.
Sometimes you gotta lay off, man.
I feel you, brother.
Let's get to the main one, which was LSU versus Iowa. Caitlin Clark versus that was a phenomenal game. I watched it from beginning to end.
Right.
And I just have one question for you, Ryan. Why Kim? What's her name? Kim Mulkey.
Kim Mulkey, LSU coach. She's a fantastic coach, by the way.
Fantastic coach, but I question her because I'm like, yo, homegirl, Caitlin Clark was torturing him. Why didn't we send the double team her way?
Because here's why.
Why didn't we send the double team her ways to slow her down at least?
Because here's why. Even the double teams don't slow her down, bro. Mm-hmm. Everybody's doubled her all season. They went in saying, okay, whether we double team her or not, she's going to hit for 30, 35, 40, no matter what. She hit for that 41 last year in the finals. Remember, they played each other in the national championship.
Right.
She had those same stats, but they won by 15. LSU won by 15.
Correct.
So what they did was they're like, look, we can't allow her to get everybody else involved, right? So that's why the double team didn't come and things of that. Now, I'm not saying she shouldn't have sprinkled it in sometimes just to give her a different look. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that. But that's her logic going into it, because that's what they did last year in the national championship game. They just stopped everybody else. So but what's happening, a lot of people think that, they see Iowa, right? They see they see the girls that they're not athletic, they don't look fast, they can't, and they think they're gonna just slow it down. No, they play fast, bro.
Yeah.
They like when Caitlin gets the ball, it's a pass. It's like that outlet pass.
And she could pass the ball, man.
Oh,
she was. I mean, she had 12 assists.
D-Dubs, she leads the nation in scoring and assists with that team because she gets them where it's not a pass where they get the ball and then they have to do something with it. It's they get the ball and then they just lay it up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what happens is they play a faster speed and it's in transition. So it's a quick and then if they don't have the transition, then they back it out and let Caitlin dance and do what she wants. And then she's so good at manipulating the game, at playing at her pace, whether it's in the screen and roll, whether it's step back threes, whether it's getting to the basket. She scores on every level, bro. Every single level. She gets to the free throw line. She has a mid-range game. She has a 3-point line, and then she has a logo three. So once you cross half court, bro, she's literally Steph Curry in women's basketball.
Definitely, because she hit the three in the face of Miss Reese.
Right.
And it was demoralizing, man. Like it looked just like what Steph Curry does to people. When it's going in, man, and you can't stop them, and you could play all the best defense on that person, and it still goes in, man. It is so demoralizing for the other team.
Right.
To try to get that that fire to get back into the game, and she did it. She did it to them, and kudos to them. And kudos to LSU. LSU played a heck of a game. First half of the game, they played a good part of the half.
Yeah,
and then the second half,
the game was tied, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, it was tied in.
I want to know why they stopped going to Angel Reese on offense. That's what I want.
That's a good point.
Good question.
Well,
because Haley started turning over that ball. And then it's like, yo, you throw it down low and get some possession. Slow it down.
Right.
And they've done that. They've done that before.
And tomorrow too. So they clearly have the advantage down low. And Iowa's big girl was she was in foul trouble. I forget her name, but yeah, she was in foul trouble. And what happened? Exactly. So remember, coming out the they were down. Iowa had jumped on them, and then LSU came all the way back and took a 7-point lead.
Because Reese had that big second quarter.
Correct, and then she sprained her ankle though, but she was still played. No excuse.
Yeah.
And Mike Mills, you're absolutely correct, man. I don't want to pile on, but Haley has, when she
had a bad game. It's okay,
bro. She's had a bad season, bro. To her standards, when she was coming from Louisville, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, she's a number one option in Louisville, right? So she has the usage, right? So she's handling the ball. She's dictating everything. Here, it seems like Kim Mulkey kind of boxed her in a little bit, and rightfully so, because hey, Angel Reese is the number one option. Flo J. Johnson is a number two option. Marlo number three.
Flo J. Johnson is nice. She's for softball. She got dog in her.
She's excellent. Got dog. And she plays great defense. I would have went to Flo J more. You know what I'm saying? Like they started doing that in the second half, but at that point, man, Caitlin just got rolling. Rolling. But that third quarter was phenomenal, bro.
Yeah.
Like phenomenal. Like, and it was tough shots. I mean, the LSU girls was just like, dude, what do we do with that? They were just like doing this, like the Jordan shoulder shrug, like, but yeah, it was.
I don't care how much defense you was throwing at her, man. There was just nothing that they could do with her. And like I said, kudos to the Iowa for that was a revenge loss from last year, and
in the national championship
and getting the job done. And
right.
hey man, I'm not going to get into all the foolishness afterwards, man. I'm just want to keep it on the court.
Absolutely.
Both, I think Angel Reese, she's a good player. I think she can stomach to stay another year if so. I think this is how much. What's the eligibility for them?
Well, it's 4 years, but they got the COVID year, so they get the extra.
So she could get one more year. She can.
But she got another year. She a junior.
No,
right? Is she
on paper? Yeah.
Okay.
No, she's a senior.
I thought she is. So she's a
senior.
She's a senior. On ESPN, she's a junior.
No, she's a senior. She's a senior, but she's already announced that she's leaving.
She's leaving, right?
Correct. And also too, Mike Mills, Haley Van Lith just put herself in the portal.
I saw that earlier.
So she's leaving. Earlier. So she's leaving LSU. So it didn't pan out for her, man, in LSU. And and what's weird about the women's national championship and all the the fanfare and all all the lights are on them.
Yeah.
South Carolina is undefeated again. With the whole new starting five.
Yeah.
Dawn Staley just won, I believe, Coach of the Year.
Female Coach of the Year.
Yeah, female Coach of the Year. And then right, yes. And
she's definitely doing something right down there. With
the whole new starting five. And here's the the difference I think between this for this year, whereas with Dawn and with Kim and Mulkey, like Dawn had like a 10 player rotation. Like their bench was like a starting five, and Kim Mulkey didn't really empower her bench. She played 7 people the whole year.
She's a Tibbs person, huh?
She rode them, but the point I'm trying to make is, guys, with South Carolina, bro, they are undefeated. Right, the last 2 years, and they're under this. Yeah, they were undefeated last year, and Caitlin and Iowa beat them in the semifinals. Right. So now they're bringing back a whole new starting five, undefeated again, and they are under the radar. Nobody's talking about them.
They can shoot this year, though.
But they can DA. But now they have outside shooting. They got Pow. Raven is knocking down shot. Tessa Johnson can hit the three.
Johnson, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Breezy Hall can hit the three. So so it's a different dynamic. And now they got the low post with Cardosa, and then with Atkins, they call her Swatkins because she's blocking everything. So now they have a more complementary, a more versatile, more balanced roster that they did last year when they just sagged off of them and dared them to shoot. Can't do that now. South Carolina is the number one shooting 3-point shooting team in the nation, and Pow is number one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
hold on there. Hold that point, Ryan. Hey,
DA,
what's up, man? I want to get you in here, man. We just recapping of the women's game. No. I just want to get you in here real quick. I'm not, like I told you guys, I'm not even getting into this foolishness that has been going on all week about Angel Reese and this girl Caitlin Clark. It was a great basketball game Monday night. I just
those two women don't have any beef, man. They're being more adult than the adults. Like, they can leave it on the court. They take care of the business there. Off the court, they're probably cool as shit. They're gonna talk their crap. Caitlin is the biggest shit talker in the game. And she deserves to, because she can shoot it.
And she backs it up.
It's up to South Carolina to play defense and do what they do. Like, it was up to, I think, LSU, horrible defensive strategy. I think they had the wrong person on Caitlin. The young lady that was guarding Caitlin, she was really good at Louisville.
Van Lee.
But she's smaller than Caitlin, and she just did not stand a chance. And with no adjustments, or maybe like Ryan just said, she only played 6. So she really didn't have anybody else to go to.
But that's her fault though.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. She's getting torched, but she didn't have anyone else to go to.
Right.
So
but my point is, I was making DA with Dawn and with Kim is that you have to empower your bench players throughout the season. So for times like this, like you just can't roll out 6 people out there and think you just gonna be chasing around these players now in these teams, because
that's a coaching philosophy, Ryan.
Right.
And, you got some guys that have gone, guys, gals, women, men that have gone all the way to the top of the profession,
right?
With this way of doing it. Like I'm only going to play my 5-6 guys, and no matter how many times we say it, right? So you get Julius Randle today, he out for the rest of the season, right? He ain't playing no more, right? So now Tibbs has to look down the bench and say, okay, what we going to do now? Not to say, and I got in a bunch of arguments today about this, and I don't want to jump all over the place too much, but what I wanted to say with that was real quick was that, listen, man, the Knicks knew when this thing jumped off, we could have the surgery today and be back in 8 weeks, or don't do it at all.
You can't. No. Right? That's a 6 month. That's a 5-6 months rehab.
But listen, what I'm saying though, Ryan. Right? Because you don't get this. You don't get that many bites in the apple. Right? So the Knicks close this year. Not saying close record wise, but close record wise and a good team.
Right.
Dog, you're gonna put dude on the court. It's a shoulder. You're gonna put him on the court as a decoy, and he would have garnered somebody. No, you could have. Because we had a dude that had a torn MCL strain. Yo, dog, I got both of my shoulders replaced, just so you know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm an expert on shoulders, but I'm going to let you know. Listen, this dude played Monday. Not saying he's a better man, a stronger man, but even if he didn't play well, he's still a threat. And what I'm saying was, you don't need Julius Randle to do all that. But because you don't really have any young guys off your bench that's been playing all year like this, when these minutes come now, it might be a fiasco out there. It might be a fiasco at the 4 because he hasn't played dudes all year.
But to push back on you, DA, with the injury thing, like it's a shoulder separation dislocation. It could have been. Once it dislocates the first time, you got to develop the strength back in it, or it just keeps popping out. I don't know if that was the case.
The reality is, you can't. He's going to have that for the rest of your life. Once it dislocates the first time, it's always going to have a chance to dislocate again. What I'm saying to you is, based on my reading, he's been practicing. He's been telling the guys on the doctors he can go. He can do this. And they pulled him out today. They said, you're done. My thing is, listen, man, you don't get that many bites at the apple.
I feel you on that.
Like this again.
Hold that thought, Mike Millie. Go ahead, Mike Millie. I'll let you get that one. You about to say something? Go ahead.
All right. Now, see the difference. I feel like the thing with Julius Randle is you already got this bad rep of shit in the bed in the playoffs. Rightfully so, though. Rightfully. So my thing is, I'm guessing I get why he sat. Like, if I could come back 100 in the playoffs, we get a chance, and I could kind of shake that. But I think in the end of the day, if he's going to be able to have a better career, like the Knicks always got next year. You don't get that many bites, but I feel like the team is not falling apart. I don't feel like nobody's contract's expiring. Nobody really. I feel like me and D was talking about this before. You could do some trades. I feel like you trade OG and Mitchell Robinson because Hartenstein made him.
Hartenstein got a seat at the table right now,
in that same spot.
He got a seat at the
Precious
table.
was playing good before Tibbs fell out of love with him for a little bit because Tibbs do that.
Yeah,
he play people and then he fall out of love with him. He sit him for a while.
Hold on, Mike Millie. Hold that thought. It wasn't. Yeah, hold on. That thought. Hold that thought. Let me get the angry one in here. Yo, good to see you. The angry one. What's good, man?
What's good? What's going on, fellas? How y'all
doing? Hey, hold on. We're gonna wrap up this Angel Reese. The LSU plays. No, excuse me. LSU's out. No, South Carolina plays NC State. Is that correct?
Yes, NC State.
Yes.
NC State. And who else we got? UConn and
Iowa.
UConn and Iowa.
Shout outs to the ladies. We're gonna get off of them right now. It was a great game. E, do you have anything for the whole Iowa LSU game? Did you watch it, or did you care, or do you give
It was basically must see TV based off of
Okay.
last year and everything that has been dissected and all that other stuff leading up to it, man. Yo, man, Caitlin Clark, man. Yo, man, what more can one say, man? I mean, and shout out to LSU. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them ladies over there. You know what I'm saying? They went out to a formidable opponent.
Right.
You gotta learn how to maybe step over the screen and not underneath. Maybe that's something that Oriema and them girls out there in UConn will dial up. But anyway, it was a good game, man. Again, like we talked about before, the ladies is bringing the thunder, man. They just as exciting to watch as the dudes are this year. So
absolutely, I think the most watched game for that college game, most between I think out of
D Dubs. Let me just run it down. So
go ahead. And we're gonna jump into the NBA. You can go straight into the NBA after that. Go ahead.
Okay, so the Iowa LSU game had more views. It had 12.3 million viewers.
Correct.
So it had more views than any women's college basketball game ever. More views in the 2023 NBA Finals. More views in the World Series in 2023. More views in the Orange Bowl, Big Ten Championship, Cotton Bowl, Pac-12. These are all football games.
Yeah.
Pac-12, Big 12, ACC, Peach Bowl, Thursday Night Football, and it was the most watched game in the regular season except for Ohio State and Michigan. That's the only one that didn't top.
Like I said, when you got me watching, it, you know.
And I love that, man. Yeah.
If you got me watching it, it's a good game. And that's all I want to see is competitiveness. And that's why I would love to see more from the men to be more competitive. And that was my whole problem with the whole thing. You got to be competitive, man. What are we watching for if you're not
tournament been good on both sides this year?
That's a fact. And I would shout out to NC State.
The tournament's
both sides this year.
Listen, no matter how bad the regular season is for NCAA, whether it's the women's side, the men's side, the March Madness never disappoints, bro. Never disappoints. No, bro, it never disappoints. There's always a Cinderella. There's always something happening. There's a reason why, you know what I'm saying, not the top overall seed the last couple of years haven't won. It's always something. It never disappoints. And I'm a little heartbroken, because Houston had Duke, bro. And until Jamal Shed went down, that was heartbreaking, bro.
Yeah, I was heartbroken too.
2 rounds ago.
Exactly.
So is my bracket. My bracket is heartbroken.
Heartbroken, pocket broken, all of that.
Thank you. Yo, man. Hey,
Duke ain't break my pockets. It was North Carolina, Boston Tar Heels.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna talk about that.
But let's just dive into it. We touched on the NBA with Julius Randle. The news is for the Knicks that he is going to be out for the season. One guy who did come back was Joel Embiid the other night.
Fantastic.
What do you think? What's your thoughts of that? And what's your thoughts of them in Philadelphia trying to, because Boston already got, Boston got the #1 spot. So, it's Boston and then everybody else.
Boston has a 13-game lead in the conference. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Not division, in the conference.
You know why?
Well,
why is that,
Mike? Take it away, Mike.
Who the number 2 team?
The Bucks.
Led by Glenn Rivers.
Glenn Rivers. Lee wasn't that big when Glenn wasn't in charge. Glenn took over. The Knicks got hurt, and that lead became insurmountable.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the standings now. Yo, it's a 13-game lead over Milwaukee.
Not going front like Boston didn't get hurt. Boston got hurt a little bit, but they got a lot of firepower, and they had a real advantageous situation because the second best team in your conference don't play no damn defense. Bucks can't play defense, and Miami don't play defense into the playoffs.
Right.
That's a fact.
Real advantageous #1. I mean, shout out to them though. That's what happened.
And with the injury to Embiid, Philly fell off. So
Philly fell off.
They right now got the 8th spot, 41-35, 19 games behind.
Water.
Yeah, they definitely treading water. Anything else in the East?
Yeah, but D-Dubs, to answer your question though, when you said about Embiid, man, like when he came back, the last game, I figured, okay, he'll play 15, 20 minutes just to get back out there. The dude played 29 minutes, had 25 points, 12 for 12 from the free throw line. He was great on the defensive end. I mean, it looked like he didn't even miss a beat.
And
remember, before he got hurt, he was an MVP again. He was putting up Wilt-like numbers before he got hurt.
Easy.
So now, I think it's very good for them that he's back with maybe 7 games left, 8 games left. So they can get they can get back in the groove. Because that was the whole thing with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Are the guys gonna come back so they can get a rhythm together? So man, Boston, Milwaukee, they do not want to see Joel Embiid in the first round. Not saying that they can't beat him, but dude, you don't want to have to play that beast in the first round.
Yeah, he don't lose in the first round, only the second.
Only the second, correct? Yeah. So but if you beat them, Joel Embiid is going to take a lot out of you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So. So he was fantastic, man. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was good to see him back, and hopefully, Philadelphia could, bring themselves up. I mean,
I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
They
got Indiana, Miami, New York, Orlando.
No.
I mean, they could beat any one of those teams in a 7-game series. So,
I don't think Mazzulla's a good enough coach, man. He's running the same. I mean, now he's got a good team. Now, don't get me wrong, and they're deep.
He inherited a great team.
Threes, shoots a lot of 3-pointers, man.
A lot of
threes. So they are feast of famine with that.
Who talking about Boston? You said?
Yeah, Boston.
Yeah. Okay.
When it's not falling, it's a wrap. Like either they win big or they lose big, and you'll know after the end of the first quarter which one it is. Because if they're off, I don't think I've seen them come back once this year. And
so, that's a good point, Da. That's a good point. And another thing too, they lose a lot of big leads because they keep shooting the 3 when they're up, and they lose a lot. I mean, they lost a 30-point lead in the fourth quarter in one game.
Keep on shooting that 3, which lets the other team get back into the game. So
they don't have a post presence on the team.
That's a fact too.
Because Jason Tatum won't go in the post, though he can. He won't. And they won't throw it to Jalen. When Jalen has a mismatch in the post, they won't give it to him either.
And you got Porzingis, and they ain't doing it to him either.
Yeah, Porzingis is a stretch. He's a stretch 5.
And Horford is 100.
105.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Another reason why Philly does not want to see, Boston does not want to see Philly in the first round.
Yeah.
That's a different type of AC to go up against, man.
Yeah, and don't trip. Maxi's coming. Maxi can hoop, man.
Maxi's nice. Been nice.
Maxi's nice, man. So yeah, Philly, if Philly can get it, get everybody on the same page, get everybody healthy, that's a scary first round matchup for anybody.
That's a fact. Hey, any news on the West? I mean, you got Minnesota, Denver, Oklahoma City.
It's still Denver's world. Everybody else is just paddling.
I do not agree.
Totally agree because they have Joker. So when stuff is not going right, you just dump it down to Joker in the post.
He's too nice.
He is. For everybody's big man in the West, for sure.
Too nice, man. He's the best big in the league.
Of course.
Everything that he around the basket. I was just talking about Kyrie Irving, like how he dribbles in. Kyrie is phenomenal. Anything he gets around the basket, everything just goes in. He's just phenomenal around the basket.
So
skillful. And you look at Jokić, it's the same thing, man. Anything he's around that basket, his touch is crazy.
The softest touch. The ball.
Vision.
Vision.
It's ridiculous.
His vision is. I see shit and I'll be like, damn, they missed that pass. Mm-hmm. But Jokić, you be like, how the fuck did he see him?
Yeah.
How did you see him?
Dude is scary. I think he's the difference because I definitely think OKC is the scariest team out there. Mm-hmm. I thought they was going to fall off after the All-Star break, and they did not.
OKC is scary.
They put their foot on the gas. Now they're up 3-4 games. Before they weren't. So it's like, and they got young kids.
That's what me and Mike before we jumped on. We was just talking about.
And
the kids is young.
Gildrich, come on, man. Yeah. They finishers, dog. Like they're putting 30 apiece.
And they still got,
and everybody can get it.
They still got Lou Dort. They still got Holmgren. Still got Giddy. He still got the other Jalen Williams. They deep.
Right.
And I think
But I feel like they too
Giddy was coming off the bench. I watched the other night, and I'm like, and he was just like,
Yeah, he came off the bench. He came off the bench.
and
Those
just hitting
things
shots,
scary,
man. It was just ridiculous, man. They got this guy, this kid Williams. I mean, just everybody's just young as hell.
They
And-
don't
But
know
that-
what they
but-
don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
That's why
but
they're not
that,
scared.
correct.
but that's the negative drawback that a lot of people's gonna have. Well, if they don't have the experience. So we all know we're all basketball lifers. You know, we love back in the days basketball. We know experience does matter at some point in the playoffs. At some point, experience is gonna show its ugly head, and if you don't have it, at some and they always say, hey, you got to lose first before you can win, and take your lumps first. All the great teams had to lose first in the playoffs, and then come back and get it. It literally never happens where a young team just their first time in the playoffs and then they just go far. It just never happens.
Right.
So, I don't know what their ceiling is. I tell you what, their first round matchup, whoever they get, is going to be key for them. So that's going to be key because I don't know. So
I see them
we'll
losing
see.
in the second.
Could.
They don't want
I
it.
see them
So the
running
4-5?
whatever old team they face in the first round. They're gonna run them out the gym. 2nd round they may lose.
Yeah.
Second round, you probably either get Luka or the Clippers.
Well,
Yeah.
the Clippers are in shambles right now too, though, man. Harden has some kind of injury. Kawhi is out now. The mysterious knee injury, guys, like it always happens at the end of the season. He's out. He missed the last 2 games, and yeah.
The LA
Clippers
ICU ain't nobody
last 5.
counting on them for do nothing, man.
Me neither. I don't believe in the Clippers at all.
Yeah, I'm not feeling the Clippers at all. And
Timberwolves number 1 right now.
Yeah, Timberwolves
are
are number
close.
1, and they're tied. Timberwolves and Nuggets are tied, but the Timberwolves have the tiebreaker right now. But I would think the Nuggets will end up getting a number 1 seed.
And even if they don't, I'm still not.
Even if they don't, correct.
Listen, all these guys, it's great to see these young teams coming up and having this staying power all season, right?
Right.
But we will see exactly what goes down in the playoffs and who's left standing. Just like DA said, depending on who these guys get matched up with in the first round is really going to tell the story. Some they may run out the gym, some they may not be experienced enough to get through, and then we'll see how the chips fall. Yeah. And one thing about it, coaching is going to be another thing that rarely gets talked about in the NBA, right? Mm-hmm. Look at the Kings. They had a phenomenal year last year. Look where they at now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't take for granted that you're going to be here next year. You can't do it. Even if you're 21, 22, 23 years old. You got to play like it's your last one.
And that's the DA's point. You got to strike while the iron's hot, man.
I think Sacramento's going to be okay. They had a lot of injuries this year, but I think they'll be good this year. I mean, in the playoffs, but they got the roster too. So
Yeah, and I think Herter's out for the year, right? I think Herter's out. Yeah, he's out for the year. So that's tough because he stretches the floor for them. You know what I mean? So that's a tough one. And shout out to Sabonis, man. I mean, Jesus, how many double doubles does he have in a row? It's ridiculous. He's a monster.
Looking at these standards make me hate the play-in game even more.
Shouldn't be there.
Talk about it.
Why?
Shouldn't exist.
Why? Everything's exciting.
Because you're not.
Why are we trying to force?
You're making it exciting.
Lakers and the Warriors in.
Like, look, it makes it exciting for casual fans, and I got it.
I like this top 8 here. This is a good 8. But I like this 8.
The 8 that's there are the 8 that deserve to be there, and that's the only point that I've ever had about it is that I'm not there to say I want shit to be fair. Because fuck fair. Fair is what you pay to get on the train. But what I'm saying is there are 8 teams that did something over 82 games, and they deserve their spot. We're not going to put 9 and 10. Why are they even getting a chance? That's my thing is you don't deserve the opportunity because if you did, you'd be 7 or 8.
guys, right?
Because if
No,
you don't,
Man,
you know what that
fucking
means,
up your draft
Ryan?
pick.
That you
Yeah.
coasted on purpose because you knew the 9 and 10 spot was there, and that's just math.
right. But I've heard you guys say this all ever since I've been on the show with you guys. I've heard you guys say this all the time. Oh, the regular season, nobody plays and nobody does this. Everybody sits out, this and that. Well, now you have to play because right now, if the way you're saying it, nobody would be playing right now because everything would already be set. So
But you gave us 75 games of nobody playing.
Yeah, but
So now,
like
but now we can't put a half dozen in one hand and the 6 in another. Now, like, come on, man. 75 games, Ryan, that these dudes didn't care. And now all of a sudden, they're going to say to me, oh, well, you look, now we're 9 and 10. We're going to go hard to get in. Well, stop.
Let
you
me
don't
tell you.
deserve that chance.
Well, people are only gonna like it when it benefits them, right? Because when LeBron came out, when they first had the play-in game, he's like, "Oh my God, the play-in." Well, the last couple of years, if it wasn't for the play-in, he wouldn't even been in the playoffs.
He would have been
This is
out.
why
Exactly.
You're acting like we don't know what kind of person he is.
Yeah, this is why we wouldn't have had it. And see, and this is where the truthful part of, and I'm not going to get into this because I don't like the conversation, the whole GOAT thing, right? But the reality is this: if we're doing shit with the same rules, then we can judge things the same way, right? I can't give you props for making the playoffs or even winning the championship if you got in via the play-in, because
these guys are going to give them the credit.
Years,
but go ahead.
No. But for the first 50, 60 years, no one else had the benefit of a play-in to get there. They had to be with it, so I can't give you credit because now you got an extra 4 games. That's not right.
Okay, it's all right.
It's not right.
Whether it's right or wrong.
That's the only thing that is to me.
I'm just saying, like, how can you not give a team the credit if they get in and they
because there were 75 years before that where only the first 8 teams or whatever teams it was in that conference made it.
Change,
but then you're changing the syllabus. You're getting a curve on the test, but you want me to say you did the same thing I did, but it took me 15 questions to get 100, and you could get 100 with only getting 6 questions right.
Right. Well, I can equate your logic to when then they should have had brought in the shot clock. They shouldn't have put in the 3-point line because now that changes everything. That changes everything too. So
that's why I don't do GOATs, because each generation has their own rules.
And my goat is Kareem, by the way.
Should be.
Absolutely.
It took LeBron 20 years to beat his record, and Kareem only shot 1 3-pointer. One
3-pointer.
Hey, I'm gonna get off of this one. Hold on. Is it Zion's out? Well, he's day to day. Is that going to be a problem for New Orleans?
No.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Only reason why I say that is because Zion's going to be fine. His supporting cast, though, where are they going to be at? Is B.I. still hurt?
B.I.'s hurt.
Yeah,
he's still out.
So I'm as exciting as the Pelicans have been at times this year. I feel like they're going to be a one and done this year. That's just me.
Word.
Well, and the Pelicans, I'm looking at the standings. You know, in the loss column, they're tied with the Kings for the 7th spot, so they can be in the play-in, and you know what I'm saying, and the Kings can get
that's who the play-in was made for. The play-in was made to sneak Zion in. So is that not what it was made for?
No,
because
it's not what it was made
he was
for,
out of the playoffs. They went to the bubble.
I remember. They
tried to sneak him in. So that's why we got the play-in. They wanted to sneak Zion in.
Yeah,
no, they wanted to make the regular season more exciting, guys. That's what it was.
Bro, listen. All right,
Ryan,
the top 8
Ryan, I think you're doing marketing for the NBA.
All the time.
Look, the top 8.
You gotta evolve, guys. We always say it. We gotta evolve, man. There was no shot clock. There was no 3-point line. There was no this, no that. They took out the dunk. They took out dunks.
Most of us is cool with that, but however, we are cool with evolving. We have no problem. We all evolve at some point.
This is a step.
However,
I'm
this right here, is not one of the things that we should add to your evolution.
Evolution.
This
Yeah,
is
I'm
the
just like
complete-
this, man.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
E.
This is the complete opposite of Darwinism. You are letting losers win. They are not evolving.
That's
they do
right.
not want to become better people.
That's
Hey,
right.
Mike Mills, especially in the East. Do you see
No, in the West. Listen.
No. In the East, the Bulls and the Hawks are 4 games under 500.
Yes.
But that was always the East. The East was always like that. The AC in the East wasn't always negative.
But right, you're right. But that's the
why
9th
put
and the
some
10th.
more bottom feeders in there?
But
So
that's
right
my
now,
point. Yeah.
Look, so right now it's 5 games difference, right? Between the 8 and the 9. That shit done. There we go. We got our 8. In the West,
you know what?
What's more interesting than being 2 games out with 7 left? That's interesting to me. That's enough.
Right.
I don't want to see you sneak in there. Well, the shit don't matter. We can win or lose. I mean, we're gonna make it anyways. But that shit is trash.
Hey, Mike Mills, I totally agree with you. If you're under 500, you should not be, because you're 10th in your conference, you should not be eligible for the play-in. I totally agree with that. I don't see why you can't, make a rule say you have to have a certain amount of wins and be close to a certain team in order to be eligible for the play-in. I mean, so you have a point there. I won't, I'm not gonna fight you on that one. That's a great point, Mike.
I don't have an issue with anything with evolution. I think evolution is great. But as Michael said so eloquently, there's no way in the world this is evolution when you're, this is, oh, thanks for coming, and here's your trophy.
Right.
You shouldn't be playing right now, man. It's fun. Listen, remember when Kenny Smith and them used to have those hats, the fisherman hats on NBA TV and say, yo, dudes is going fishing?
Yeah.
It's okay to go fishing. Wanna know why? Because the next year you work that much harder to be 8 or 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your goal is to be 9 or 10, you're doing the wrong damn thing. That's all.
I feel you.
That's a fact.
It's a
hey,
good
yo.
point.
Hey, anything else you guys doing?
I see the pros and cons in it.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, y'all already said it, but I was just going to say, yo, you keep saying evolution. Yo, man, we all like evolution. You know what I'm saying? We all like to be ahead of the curve, but it all depends on which way the curve is going. I'm not,
whoa.
Just saying.
I'm just saying, I was ahead of the curve.
Canceled. That was a double entendre.
Yeah,
I've been trying. I was ahead of the curve and been trying to get y'all ahead of the curve with these women basketball players now.
I was right there with you though.
You was angry man. You was the angry one.
All
You
I'm
was.
gonna say is, I've been in love with Candace Parker since I was 13 years old. Of course, I watch women's basketball. And that's it.
Jesus.
Candace.
Hey,
Sheldon's wife.
I got one more question.
Sheldon Williams.
One more question about the
can't believe
NBA.
he got her.
What you got for the Dallas Mavericks? Anything for the Dallas Mavericks?
Great team. I still think the usage is too high, man.
Mm-hmm.
They've been playing better defense though, which has been surprising. But I don't know how long that'll happen before Kyrie breaks out in a hive from playing defense though.
Yeah, I mean,
right now they currently sit 5th right now. If the playoffs
I like the young bigs they got. I like how they went and got some size up front.
Yes,
and I like that they interchangeable. They could kind of do some of the same things. PJ got a little jump shot that stretched the floor. It's the defense. Because ever since they traded Finney Smith to go get Kyrie, they ain't had no lockdown defender. Like Derrick Jones Jr. do an okay job. And when Josh Green is healthy, he do an okay job. And then you got to worry about Tim Hardaway Jr. because he's too streaky. I don't know they need to trade him, do something, get rid of him. Yeah, his contract needs to expire, something.
But to your point, Mike, like PJ plays D and Gafford plays D. So they're kind of a balance that they needed. They got the offense, like you said. PJ can hit the 3, spread the floor for you. Gafford's gonna rebound, play D, and I also like the rookie center that they have. He's good with Luka too. Lively, exactly. So they're a scary team, bro. They're a scary team if they can figure it out, because at some point Kyrie's gonna get hot. At some point, Luka's gonna get hot, and they're gonna get rolling. And if they get hot together, and go on the street. We saw it with Luka and Brunson when they went to the Western Conference Finals. We saw that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Are y'all concerned with the Phoenix Suns? And this is my last question. Phoenix Suns, for all that talent on that team,
they'll be out in the second
They only
round.
got 3 players, man. I don't think they're all that talented because they haven't really done it.
You got rid
together
of the whole
yet.
team, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's on their ownership. But you know, I go with just what Ryan said. Those 3 guys get hot, it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem.
Gotcha.
And if they don't, then it's going to be a problem.
Gotcha.
Same answer.
Gotcha. Hey, real quick, we're going to transition to the NFL. Hey, Ryan, appreciate you as always.
Brother.
But you know,
Absolutely.
you
Hey,
hear
hold
your
on 1 second, real quick.
Go
I
ahead.
don't know, and I'm late, and I know I've not been feeling well, but I want to touch on this if y'all did not, because I know guys been saying this.
What's up?
Real talk, man. Dudes have been bashing the men's NCAA tournament. It's been great.
It's been great. It's
And
always
I
good.
told Kevin, I've said it before. Though NCAA's men's basketball is coming back because
great
of the
tournament.
NIL. Because of the NIL. Because dudes are leaving. Because when that happens, it's going to leave a group of players in college that belong in college. Like there are 2 different types of basketball players. There are pro basketball players. There are college basketball players. And they're not always the same guys. So dude from Purdue is nice, but he is not a pro basketball player.
He's not.
He's
He's
not.
not. No.
Nah, he going
Right?
overseas.
Yeah,
He's
and it's
not.
no
Have to.
disrespect to him.
No, it's not.
He can
It's
win.
not.
He can win some championships at Purdue, just like the big boy from Connecticut. It's nice, but they can't guard.
They're too slow-footed, man. They slow-footed.
Or Embiid, or like they can't. Right, so it's not a bad thing with these young kids staying. And you look at dude at North Carolina State, big boy. Dude been in college 6 years.
DJ
Burns. He started college before COVID. My man Baycott, he's got to be old as me.
He 35.
But they know the money is in college. And that's the same thing with Angel. It makes sense to stay.
Yeah, the women they're
not
making
gonna
more
go to the
money.
NBA,
They're making more money in
Guys,
the NCAA than they are.
If you're going to make more money, if you're not going to get an NBA, what they call it, double contract with the G League and the NBA, it makes sense to stay in college and get your money.
No, but the NIL travels with you. You don't have to be in college to get the NIL money. It travels. So
if your advertisement deal goes and you go to a pro team, then your deal dies.
No.
If you get an NIL deal and you're in college at North Carolina, and then you go to play in the pros at the South whatever G League team, they're not giving you that money there because you're not going to have the same commercials. You're going to get your residuals from whenever you did your All-State Baycott commercial. But 4 years from now, he's not going to get paid for doing that commercial.
The NIL is not based on the school. The school doesn't pay them the NIL. The NIL is paid from sponsorships and boosters. So it's not the school.
But that runs out once you're out the school, right? Like they're not going to keep sponsoring you and giving you money if you're not there.
It has nothing to do with your NIL deal. If they want to still give you the money, it travels with you. Clayton Clark is not going to lose her NIL deals. She's not. Nobody. You don't have to lose. Just because you leave school, don't mean you lose your NIL deal.
Nah, what he's saying is some of them.
You're saying. I'm sorry, Mike. Let me real quick. Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but Caitlin Clark is about to command $10 million from Ice Cube. Like she's different from Baycott. Angel Reese is different from Baycott. When he's not playing out where Eric works at, and he's playing for the Westchester Roadhawks in the G League, I'm guaranteeing you the money stops.
Right. I got
what you're saying. Paycheck in the G League, and that's it. Now, he probably made more money this year at UNC than he'll make next year in the G League, unless he gets a two-way contract and he's on the bench of an NBA team, number 8, 9, 10, like my man Shawnell Scott.
Right.
From uptown.
So what you said on the bench. So he's not gonna be able to garner the money.
Star power is not gonna be as bright no more.
He's not gonna be a star.
I got you. That's a good.
You're not gonna have that star power no more. So
Yeah.
You're not getting the dealership down the block from campus. You messing with
Right.
Big Al's Chicken Shack in West Montauk or some shit. You're not getting the same bag.
And people gotta understand too. Not all the players on the team gets NIL deal. It's only the select few. You know what I'm saying?
It's the stars,
right?
And and like I said, that's why dudes are staying, right? And
Yeah.
it makes for a better game because now you got these kids that are staying 3-4 years because there's more money in college than there is in the G League for some of these kids.
For some of these, yeah.
For a lot of these kids, right? Because if you're a star, and they've been saying this for years, an NBA player is different than a college player.
Right.
So, not the same dudes.
Yeah. Nah, good point. Good point.
So what's up, Mike? Your boy, you got King Henry. Your man Diggs then moved on. What's going on in the NFL, man? You run it down for me. Let me know what's up. What's really hood.
I like that Diggs deal is only 1 year.
Yes.
So if he start that crybaby shit, they don't win. Get him the hell out and he go somewhere and get his bread somewhere else. Somebody's gonna pay him. The Henry deal, specifically since you asked about that, it's interesting. I like it, but we're gonna have to get somebody else in that backfield because Keaton Mitchell's coming over ACL. Dobbins is a free agent, but he's coming over an Achilles. I like Justice Hill. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't like Justice Hill like that. This year, he kind of impressed me. He played a lot better than I thought he was capable of. So if he keeps evolving and getting better, then we can keep him too. But we got to get another running back.
So you don't think like in the Thunder and Lightning thing where,
if Keaton Mitchell was healthy, then you could definitely lighten that
15
shit,
carries a piece,
you
they might be able to live.
like 10 and Henry like 15, 16. That would work, but Keaton Mitchell still hurt. So unless we find another quick back like that,
we still got time though. The season is.
But we need a O-line.
Oh,
we have no starters from last year except the center and the left tackle, and Ronnie Stanley been lost a step ever since that injury. So
he's old.
Right. Well, he's not that old. Yeah, he's like 30.
Yeah, that's old.
But we just gave him $100 million like 2 years ago. So
they
restructured him, so we got a little more space. But we need an O-line. We definitely need another receiver. We definitely could use another corner. And then we just signed Van Noy back. So I like that. So
I think there's like in those 3 spots in the draft, there are a lot of those. There are a lot of DBs. There are a lot of receivers. And there's always O linemen to the 7th round. Like this, you'll find a stud playing O line because a lot of times what dudes happen in the NFL, especially, is those guys with, let's say, histories off the field that the offensive linemen that drop are usually as good as the other linemen, but you just didn't hear about them because they didn't go to Mississippi. They went to Southwest Mississippi, but they're 6'8", 305. It's same size because all those guys are the same size, same build. But there's a reason why one dude went to one school and one dude went to another. And usually it's not because they're that much better. And so you can usually get something. So, I mean, and you guys have been good since, back in the days with your draft. So I think you guys develop players well. And, I think you guys will be good. Now, receivers are going to be hard, but look at the dude from Boston
never
College.
Developed a receiver. What receiver have we?
Yeah,
I was talking about that earlier.
Boston
Torrey
College dude,
Smith
nice.
couldn't catch the ball shorter than 15. Perryman had the drops and couldn't catch it shorter than 15. Hollywood had the drops, and now he's in
everywhere
Arizona.
on the field. Yeah,
he still drops it. I think there's a kid coming out of Penn State, and I think there's a dude coming out of Boston College. I know it nice, and the cat from South Carolina. They got another Debo out there, so I would get him now because a 30-year-old Debo is no good. 25-year-old Debo, serious business. So what you got,
James?
what
you think about Diggs? Oh no,
Angry Man. What you got on Diggs?
I mean, I look at it like this, man. It wasn't no wow moment for me when I seen it. I was like, oh, okay. So I guess Buffalo's finally going to let Josh Allen put his big boy pants on and lead the show. I guess they felt like Diggs was a distraction. Okay, whatever. production doesn't lie, but okay, whatever. Yeah, we'll see which way they go in Buffalo, man. I mean, when they started to run the ball a little bit more, something that we've been saying for like the last 3 friggin' years. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you have a balanced team. When you don't have let me back up. When you're able to run the ball and not Josh Allen being your primary running back, Buffalo looked like an NFL team that was ready to contend. When they stopped that, it fell right back, and we seen what happened. So Diggs going to Houston, I just feel like this is his time to audition. That's all it is. He had 1 year to go out to Houston and get it right with them boys down there and and shake the room and see what happens. And he's not going to be in Houston after that. So we'll see.
What you think, Ryan? What's your thought?
Well, my thought on Diggs, I think I just thought it was time in Buffalo. You know, for 2 years now, you know, they've been, you know, having a little, you know, the little gripe going back and forth and stuff like that. But I do like it for Houston standpoint. Like Mike said, it's a 1 year deal. So if he cuts up in any way, he's done. You know what I'm saying? But he makes Houston really dynamic because now Houston, they signed Joe Mixon. All right. So now they got a running game. They're gonna get the wide. But Joe Mixon adds more running to what they have. I think what they had, Singletary. Singletary's kind of, you know, small, whereas in Mixon, he can catch the ball, receive it. He's a goal line back. He's an every down back. And like you said, Angry One, production is there with Diggs. So you put Diggs, you know what I'm saying, on Houston squad. Now you have to fear every aspect of their offense. You can't stack the box. All right. Now, and you double team Diggs. You know, the rookie Stroud is played amazing, and their defense is already stout. So
they're gonna be all right.
I love what Houston did. I think it was a great move from Houston on Houston's point, getting them.
They win that division next year for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I will tell you all this now. Mm-hmm. We're gonna stop, you know, saying it's Stefon Diggs' fault, everything that happened.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't agree with
that. The
problem
in Buffalo is that their quarterback throws the ball to the other team. That is the problem in Buffalo.
In the red zone,
same numbers he has his rookie year in Buffalo.
Don't worry, they're not gonna throw the ball no more next year,
dog.
Hey D, you want me to tell you how it went down? Stefon Diggs was in the locker room.
Yeah.
He's looking at right. He looked to the right. He looked to his left. He said, "I gotta get the fuck out of here." He said, "Yo, I got to get up out of here." He can't give me the ball.
And they lost the other wide receiver as well. They lost
Gabe Davis.
Yeah, they lost
Davis.
Buffalo finna run a triple option next year. They ain't got nobody to throw to.
and two tight ends
and
two tight ends set with Knox and Kincaid.
Mm-hmm. So you think the Buffalo coach is on the hot seat as well? This is going to be?
He should be.
Yeah,
but he's in Buffalo. It ain't like
exactly. They just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I was kind of taken aback, you know, when the trade, when they let him go or traded him. I was like, wow. So I wasn't really expecting that, but hey, he's been wanting to get out of there for quite some time. He's been making some noise, so
Dude said,
what more can I say? Go ahead, D.
He said, "Yo, man, where did I lie?"
Right.
So he said, "Oh yeah, y'all talk all this mess." I said, "When did I lie?" That's all.
When did we have?
I'm not against that dude. I'm just telling you, Josh Allen is not what they said he is.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet.
They've been trying to boost him up there, put him on that
beat somebody,
that booster seat.
Mm-hmm. Beat somebody.
Here's the issue, and this is the issue with Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the issue with Lamar. It's, you know what I'm saying, the only guy that really beat this man was Cincinnati quarterback
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, bro.
Yes.
They're playing against Michael Jordan of football, bro. They're playing against Patrick Mahomes. and that's the problem.
No, that's not.
No, that is the problem, because you can't, if you can't beat him, you're going to have good regular seasons. You're going to win that one game, but then when you go up against him, can you beat him?
Well, that's
can you
what
beat
makes,
him? That's
what makes the NFL different from every other sport.
Well, yeah,
because the king of the hill game is real shit, and he's him, and he's there. Either you beat him or you don't, right? Either you beat him or you don't. Because dude from Cincinnati beat him.
Yeah, he did.
They lost the Super Bowl, but they win.
They beat him.
It's not like the dude's the Hulk or an Avenger. Like, he's your dog. You know, superpowers.
He's pretty damn close.
You know, but you can beat him. Man, listen,
Yes.
Detroit beat the shit out of them this year. It can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen.
I think, we talk quarterbacks, but I think you got to look at the quarterbacks, their coaching and their team overall when they get to that chance to go against the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, man. You can't beat yourself. They're that good. You can't go in there and beat yourself. First and foremost, you can't go in there, cough, Baltimore Ravens, and decide that you're going to play football totally opposite of what you've been doing all freaking year, and you was dominating all year.
Ran the ball 6 times.
Yeah,
so
that's.
I think there are guys. I'm not sold on Josh Allen. I'm not sold on Dandelion out there with the LA. I almost said Chargers. I'm not sold on him either. These guys have talent, but talent doesn't mean anything if you don't go out there and display it on the biggest stage.
Pros,
we all know that. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, too, it's also the teams. It's the teams that surround them. These guys don't play. They don't play defense. And it's a lot of times we all have watched games where we shaking our heads like, why do you not have safety help over the top? Like, I don't understand. But it is what it is.
Hey, man. Hey, yo. Yeah, facts. It is what it is. Hey, real quick, we're going to just talk about the business part of the NFL real quick. The Kansas City Royals and the Kansas City Chiefs. Voters have decided not to vote against sales tax extension to fund the stadium projects for the Chiefs and the Royals, which I think, we've seen this happen a couple times, and finally fans has stood up and said, no, we're not going to pay, and y'all can fit the bill. Yeah, DA, I know you and Kevin had some conversations about that. What's your thoughts on this? As far as
I think it's a good bet. Listen, if somebody else wants to pay them and buy a stadium in another state, have at it. That's my thing. Bye. I don't think it'll happen because the Kansas City Chiefs are a grandfathered in team from the AFL. I think that's like, that's like Green Bay. Right. So it may not happen, and they may find a way to make it happen. But dog, people died at the Kansas City game this year, man, of hypothermia. After the game, not at the game, but they had the shirts off during the game. It's so cold. 2-3 weeks later, those dudes is dead. Crazy. Guess what? They still say, hey, too bad for you. We're not giving you no money for tickets. No, don't. They came anyway.
They didn't force him to come.
No, that's right. You came of your own accord.
Exactly.
No reason for me to give you no money for a dome. What? Why? Yeah. Why am I doing that?
Especially when they're billionaires.
And you're winning Super Bowls without it.
Right. And teams are getting sold for billions and billions of dollars when so pay your own damn stadium fees and taxes or whatever.
I agree, man. I'm they do this all the time to the fans to keep on, and and finally, I think this has been, I can't remember, or I can't remember the last fan base that said, no, we're not, we're not doing that. So, hey.
And I gotta give credit where it's due. I don't know if it's the fan base or the city officials that said no.
Yeah.
But whoever it was.
Right.
They said, man, they checked my pockets. I got nothing there. Can't do it.
Nothing there. Nothing there. Hey, real quick, that's all I got for the NFL. We got the draft coming up shortly. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah,
Got anything?
real quick. You saw the Derrick Henry was actually on a podcast, and he said his first choice was going to Dallas, but Dallas never called him. So that's like, I don't know what Dallas is doing, because they said they were going to go in and make a big splash, and they basically did nothing.
Yeah,
like,
I think the fans are still waiting, because they was being patient. I heard, we being patient. We doing this, we doing that, but they've done nothing.
Dallas's splash will come during the draft, if you want to call that a splash. They don't have no real flexibility to do anything, and they're not prioritizing what they need.
Right.
I don't know.
I know
and remember they lost Pollard, so they had no running back. Like, I thought Derrick Henry was the perfect fit there.
They're going to rehire. They said they're going to resign Zeke, though.
I saw that. Say
he'll come back on the cheap, and he didn't really play much last year, so
right.
They're still going to need another back. They're still going to need another back.
They're going to get dude from Texas, man, in the draft. He's good.
Yeah, I think what's going on with Dallas too is that they know they have to re-sign the stud players that they have now.
Parsons.
NFL Parsons, Parsons.
Yeah.
They lost their long time offensive lineman. They didn't re-sign him.
Right.
So
but they also get money back because Van Der Esch had to retire. So
he retired. Yeah, he retired.
So they're going to get his salary back. So
right.
They can do some things, and I think, not to sound like an idiot, man, but I'm gonna go with E on this one. Maybe they think they're good enough where they're at, and draft is all they're gonna need, and that's not impossible, man. They won double-digit games last year. Like, they weren't horrible, man. They're just not good in the right spots. But maybe they believe that they can fix those things in the draft. Believe me, man, a lot of teams don't have money, so I'm not.
True.
I ain't sweating.
That is a fact. Speaking of the draft, what's your thoughts of what's going on as far as the quarterbacks and things of that nature? You think what is this? Was it JJ McCarthy? That's his the dude from
3
Michigan?
Gonna be wrong, 2 gonna be right. That's all. 3 gonna be wrong, 2 gonna be right.
Oh, you sold on Caleb Williams? He could play.
They all can listen, man. You know me from the time we started this show, man. I'm not going to disrespect anyone that's a professional athlete. Like, you can play. The fact that you're there means that you can play. Eric has said this since my man, Mr. Campbell, up there in Washington, man. If you don't have a coaching staff, infrastructure, your name actually could be Jesus, last name Christ, and not have a good year. So the point I'm making is, if they put something around a player, right system, right infrastructure, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud is an anomaly. That is not something that always happens in the NFL. Not every 5-10 years that doesn't happen. So those things happen because that was a perfect storm.
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't shoot, man. Listen, I think he'll be good. I always think kids that win the Heisman can play.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the NFL, the NBA, college football, college basketball, there are 4 different fucking sports. So
indeed,
because you do it well in college doesn't mean you're going to do it well in the NFL.
Hey, have y'all checked out any of this UFL?
Yeah, they got some cats that can play, man.
Mm-hmm. I checked it out.
They got to figure out a way to give cats a year off, because I don't think it's fair to let dudes play a UFL season, and then come go straight into the NFL season. Then if the NFL team wants them, you're gonna be all the hell beat up trying to do that. But,
definitely hard on the body. I said that last year, but
But I don't know how many players. I'll check and see how many players may have got pulled last year from the USFL in the other league,
right,
to the NFL. But I'm sure there were a few.
Gotcha.
But see, that's a place where you could get linemen.
Mhm.
right? Because they're all good there. You know what I'm saying? Now, your individual coaching at your team may be able to come into Dallas and get a cat from, the Michigan team that's a good guard and move him
Right.
over, and he can do it. I don't think it is like it can't happen. It probably can happen.
Mhm.
We just got it. We haven't seen it happen yet. That's all.
Right.
But
Gotcha.
good games.
Good games, no doubt. Hey, real quick transition to I'll save this for last. One of the last. MLB. MLB. We got we just talked about the Yankees. Yankees started off with they 6-1 right now, going into the
I'm not
into
really.
what the
Yeah, it's
standings
early,
today.
bro.
We don't have no pitching, so
It's
I
good.
mean,
It's always good to see.
It's a good start. Good start. But go ahead, E.
Yeah, it's always good. It's always good to see your team 6-0, 7-0, whatever. But then when you look at the calendars and you start flipping and you see how many more games you got, it's like, yeah, it's cool and all, but
Yeah,
He showing 1-5.
even the Boston Red Sox, I have 5-2. I mean, it's a good start. I didn't think Baltimore 4-2, Toronto 3-4. So I know Dan. Shout out to Dan, the hockey dude. Dan, his Pittsburgh Pirates. He was very excited. They started off hot 6-1.
well,
How
didn't
long
they
it
start off
lasts?
kind of warm? Didn't they start off warm last year? Wasn't they like
They did, and he got
9-3 or something
yeah.
crazy like
He
that? And
he
then
got
Dan
happy
started
again.
talking. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
got
Like
happy.
20-9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers are 7-2. Listen, I don't have much about baseball right now because like I said, it's a marathon. It's still early. They're just warming up right now. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers world, and the rest of these teams are just living in it. They should win it all with all the stuff they got. I know I
Can I
made a
just say
crazy
this?
pick, but I just think that with the talent they have, they should win it all. Go ahead, E.
I think we said that last year.
Yeah, we did, but
Yeah.
again, you know,
I think we've all watched sports long enough to know that these
on
champions
paper,
are made on paper, and
champions.
it's good for the the talking heads like us, have something to say, the barbershop talks and all this other stuff. Oh man, did you see this way? Him and this lineup and dot. And then when they get out there, man, sometimes it takes longer for these guys to gel. Sometimes they don't ever pan out, and they could be looking crispy all year long, and they meet that one team that shouldn't have been there, shouldn't be nowhere in their stratosphere, and they bring them back down to earth. So again, of course it's still early, but
Still,
I'm not sold on the Dodgers, man.
and at some point you can have all the hitting you want. If your pitchers aren't pitching,
We said that
you can
many a
forget
times.
it.
Yeah,
You can forget it. You can forget it. You can have all the home run hitters you want. You get to the postseason, your relievers better hold that lead. Your closers better close the game, and your starters better give you at least 4 or 5 innings.
Yeah.
And with the Dodgers, you know what I'm saying, the last couple of years, their pitching has been very suspect in the playoffs. So, and I would have liked it more if Ohtani was able to pitch this year, but he's not because of Tommy John surgery. So he can hit, but he can't pitch.
Right.
So I would, yeah. So, yeah.
Hey, I was about to ask DH since his Padres is 4-5, but they're 4-5. So I'll give with Mike. Your Mets are 1-5. Anything you want to say before, because we're gonna get up out of here in a few.
The pitching is atrocious. And then, like, the good games they did have, they wasted good pitching. There's no reason you should lose to the Tigers in the 10th, 11th. That shit is insane. I need them bats to wake up. The bats wake up, we could tread water like we're supposed to this year and get ready for next year. But them bats got to wake up.
Hey, Ryan, I know this is not your team, but you're down in that part of the country. Miami Marlins are 0-8, brother. Anything?
Bro, let me tell you, the thing is with the Miami Marlins, man, they'll go and buy a team, they'll get free agents, and then they'll win and they'll break everything down. They don't care about winning and losing, they just care about the bottom line is, and that's making a profit. And I don't see
Right.
how they make a profit. There's nobody going to the damn games.
No. Yeah.
And but the thing is, when you think about the Florida Marlins, right?
Right.
All the great players they had that they let go away because they didn't want to pay them. The Miggies, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So many other players. He plays for the Brewers now. He left the Marlins and then won the MVP.
What's his name?
And I forgot his name. Oh gosh, I'm seeing his face, but they don't pay their players, bro, and they're just cheap. You know, they try to bring in Jeter to run it. Jeter wanted to spend money, but Jeter's like, dude, you guys don't want to spend money? I'm out of here. What the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? They, you know, and then the first year Jeter got there, they made him trade Giancarlo Stanton to the Yankees because they didn't want to pay Stanton. That's another name. They had Stanton.
Another Stanton. Yep. Yeah.
You know, so they had so many players, man, and two, they did have a little unfortunate luck. Rest in peace. They had their pitcher who died in the boating accident.
Right, Jose Fernandez.
Jose. Yes, he was on his way to being like Cy Young type of a pitcher. So he was that good.
Yeah. You know, and they fired their GM.
And the fire the GM. Yeah. So
hell, have no fury like a woman scorned. She leaves us in the playoffs and y'all get rid of her.
Yeah.
They cursed.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just don't spend money, bro. Now they're good in scouting players, and their farm system is good, and building players. But once their players get to a certain status, and you have to pay them, nah, they're not paying.
They're like the Pittsburgh Pirates, man. They're the major league, minor league team. That's all they are.
Right.
Major league team. Yo, man. Hey, anything else on Major League Baseball, man? Before we get up out of here. Hey,
we come back in July.
Yeah, we'll recap on that. Yo, good show as always. Hey, real quick, boxing last weekend. We had Pitbull.
What up?
Pitbull. Shout out to Mexico. Pitbull won his first world title. And he's been in the game. He's been doing it. He lost to Tank Davis. Actually, that was actually a good fight, but he ended up losing Tank Davis, and he came back, bounced back from that fight, and it's been steadily on the grind. And he came back. And Saturday night was a good match. Well, it was good for Pitbull. He ended up knocking out Rolly Romero. Rolly. Yeah. Anyway, you know, Rolly. Everybody knows who Rolly is in the game. But yeah, he didn't fare good against
Rolly wasn't
Isaac.
rolling, dog. He wasn't rolling.
Isaac Cruz on Saturday night, and also Tim Tszyu. He fought the what's my man's name? The Towering Inferno. What's my boy's name?
With an F?
Yeah.
Foot.
Fedora, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, he fought Fedora last on Saturday night, and Fedora actually won his first. No, it's not his first because he had belts before and then he lost. So he had recently lost. But that was a bloodbath. A good fight, bloodbath. Tim Tszyu suffered a cut over his on his top of his head, and he was just bleeding profusely. Blood all the entire night. And you know, Fedora, matter of fact, I mean, to be honest with you, Fedora was a filling match, and he probably shouldn't have even fought him because Fedora is a good fighter. He's just very tall. He's a tall fighter. And my man Big Stepper, not Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence came in the ring, and he wants to take a shot and get a shot at the titles. I guess he's all fixed up now. He's ready to go. So we shall see. I wanted the DA to get his comments on it. And matter of fact, you watched a little bit of it on Saturday night. Was you impressed with the boxing?
I was very impressed. I don't. I let you guys talk about the boxing and whatnot, man.
Yeah.
But I was spending some time with my grands and me and my son-in-law Kyle. Shout out to Kyle. Man, he's a boxing enthusiast. So I would love to see y'all, sit around and have a conversation.
Yeah, we gotta go
anyway,
chop it
he's
up.
real technical. Yeah. But yeah, man, that was like an anomaly. You don't usually see anything like that fight, man. I mean, the blood was everywhere. And I strongly feel, even though what's his name? Fundura. I don't want to butcher his name.
Yeah, Fundura.
Yeah. Even though he had a sizable, advantage, I just thought that Timmy was taking it to him, man. And I strongly feel that it would have been a totally different fight had he not had that cut, man. Because it was, if he wasn't jabbing and moving about the ring, he was steadily trying to wipe that blood so he could
wipe
see,
that
man.
blood out of his face, man. So, it was definitely difficult for him Saturday night. So but that's what happens. He didn't bitch out. He fought who he fought, and I mean he could easily said, "Nah, I'm not taking him." He could have took anybody else, but he'll be back. I think he exercised his right to rematch. Yeah,
I want to see the rematch.
Yeah, he definitely should get a rematch. I think Tim Tszyu is a good fighter, and I just think that when you get a cut. I mean, it wasn't just a small cut.
No, it was a gash.
It was a huge gash. It was over his head, over top of his head, not like it was underneath his eye, things of that nature. So he definitely should get a rematch. But I mean, it's Sebastian Fedora's world right now, and he can move in any direction he wants to move in right now to get money, because that's at the end of the day, it's all about the paper. And they trying to they want to make matches, but they want to get the money too. So I can understand that. But that was this past Saturday night. Hey Ryan, you had something? We're gonna do the parting shots and we're gonna get up out of here.
Yeah. Who y'all got tomorrow night in the girls Final Four? Iowa versus UConn. So Caitlin versus Paige. Who y'all got? And who you got? South Carolina versus NC State. Who y'all got winning it all? Real quick.
I'm going to take South Carolina versus Iowa. That's going to be the matchup, and I think South Carolina is going to win. South Carolina,
I agree.
They undefeated. That's a they're a bad team, bro. So
same.
I think that's what it looks like. I think that's where we looking at, and kudos. Shout outs to UConn. UConn, they nice, but I think it's just
next year.
Yeah,
and they have a lot. They
have a lot of injuries. Yeah,
they be back next year.
Yeah, they'll be back. So
they'll be back next year.
It's all good.
And Paige is coming back. She already announced she's gonna use her COVID. And they get AZ Fudd back, who is a baller. Yeah, so
they'll run it back next year, and they'll be fine. But this year they're gonna just they're gonna have to sit this one out. Let Caitlin do her thing.
Right. And, so it's gonna be a rematch of the semifinals from last year when Iowa beat South Carolina. So
correct.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So, I'm definitely tomorrow night. Everybody, you should be in front of your TV. These. Listen, if I'm saying it, and listen, I'm very hard. I'm very hard on teams, and especially on on the women's side, I really don't watch like that. So if I'm saying it, I'm just saying it was good. Monday night's game was good, so I expect more this tomorrow night. So
hey, I just got one quick question before we jump out of here. Yo, Ryan,
go.
Mm-hmm.
Who is going to be, or no? Let me rephrase. Who would you pick as the Lady Vols' next head coach?
Wow, that's a good point. Because I'm kind of shocked they fired her. They've been to the Sweet 16. I know it's Tennessee. They have a higher standard. It's just a Sweet 16.
That shadow is different, Ryan. You know what it is.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, that's a good one, bro.
That's gonna be your homework, man. You ain't gotta answer.
That's my homework, bro. Because
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that off top.
Candace
Man,
Candace Parker. This guy here.
let me tell you something, Mike Mills. That's not far fetched, bro.
I know it ain't. That's why I said it.
That's not far fetched.
If she if she didn't commit to come back to play in the WNBA, I could see it.
Yeah.
You think she
done committed to come back, so I think she's gonna go back and broadcast for a couple more years, and then I see it in the future.
Has she had mentions of wanting to coach?
That's the only thing I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike just want to see her regardless. So yeah.
Yeah. I think what might happen. What might happen is they might pooch somebody from another program. Another. Oh man.
But again, those are big shoes to fill, man. You can't just get anybody,
man. Yeah, exactly. Man, that's a great question, man. That's a great question.
I was thinking about it. I was like, see, this is what we be talking about. If you're gonna fire somebody, and I agree with you, I was shocked. Who are you going to bring in to replace her? You can't go
right.
You can't have Duracell batteries. They die out. You throw them away, and then you go get dollar store batteries. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So you better have some Energizer. You better have something.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what's funny? I really believe they fired her because of the mistake she made on that inbounds pass against South Carolina. Like they just left Cardozo like wide open to hit the three, because like why else? I mean, like I said, Tennessee has higher standards than just a Sweet 16, so I get it. And they haven't got past the Sweet 16 since she's been there. I think she's been there for like 4 or 5 years. So yeah, and that's a tough one, man. I'll have to think about that one. I don't have no one off top of my head right now.
And I'll just say this, man. Recruiting. We always talk about recruiting, for the men's side or whatever. You better be able to do some heavy lifting when it comes to recruiting for the women's side now. God. Okay, you can't just go in there. Oh, I'm from Tennessee. I represent Tennessee. They're gonna look at you like, okay, what the hell did you win? You didn't help raise them banners that's up there now. So yeah.
And not only that, I think University USC. They might have the #1 recruiting class coming in from top to bottom. Wow. And Juju is a problem.
To go with Juju? Yeah, that's scary.
Man, yeah. Yeah, bro. So, man, that's a good question, man. I'll have an answer for you next time.
Okay, cool.
Yo, it's been a pleasure. Hey, anybody, parting shots, Mike Millie, appreciate you hopping on. What you got?
Glad to be here. Glad to see everybody. Shout out to Kevin, couldn't be here. Shout out to Toxic Dan, couldn't be here. Shout out to DA that slid early. But great show, and let's get ready for next week.
No doubt, man. We got a lot. There's a lot to cover today. We got a lot of news. Hey, the angry one, what's up? What you got?
Hey, man. Glad to be here. Glad to see everybody. Ryan, thank you so much once again, man. You're always welcome, man. You're not even. You was a regular, man. You the type.
Yeah, that's why I forget to thank you because like I'm used to him being here now.
You want a water or whatever? Go to the fridge, bro. But man. Shout out to everybody that's not here tonight. Junior, shout out to you, bro.
Yeah.
Toxic Dan, you know what I'm saying? Kev, feel better, man. DA. Yo, man, everybody out there that tuned in, that shouted at us in the comments. Appreciate y'all. Nothing too heavy, man. Everybody enjoy your sports, man. Be safe, man. Don't get too crazy. If you're anywhere this weekend near Raleigh, I suggest you go left or go right. You don't want to be in Raleigh this weekend. They got Dreamville. Of course, you got both state teams running. And you got the Hurricanes going too. So Raleigh, the 919 is not where you want to be. Wake County, just avoid it.
No doubt.
But y'all be safe.
Ryan, what you got, bro? Appreciate you coming on, man, and hanging out with us, man.
Hey, Man, shout out to you guys, for always having me on. D-Dub, man, you did your thing. Thanks for moderating, man. You did your thing tonight. Mike Mills.
Don't give me too
Mike
much
Mills.
credit. Y'all ain't
Yeah,
gonna see. Y'all haven't seen nothing yet. Watch
you
this.
did
But
good.
go ahead.
Mike Mills. I think this might be the first show that we ain't argue. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm
It's
saying?
coming
But
down the line. Don't
it's
worry.
covered that. The angry one, man, is always a pleasure, man. Thank you guys for having me. It's fun. Again, I always say this: what you guys do on an every week basis is not easy, man. And it's your product is good. You guys have great energy. You guys are knowledgeable, and kudos to you guys.
Yo, man, we appreciate that, man. No doubt, man. No doubt. Yo, I ain't got nothing too heavy, but yo, on behalf of all of us, man, we appreciate all you guys. Thank you for joining us for the night. Click like and subscribe as always. Give us that 5-star on the podcast side, as my man the moderator would say. And he's really gonna be angry at me right now because like my computer is really acting up right now. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, y'all not gonna get that pretty intro like we usually do.
The outro.
Not tonight. The outro. I'm sorry, the outro. You got a good intro, but the outro. So on behalf of the sports chasers, we would like to say, yo, please forgive us on tonight. For this outro is gonna be really jacked up. And I don't know how it's gonna look, but hey, forgive us. And we'll be back next week with more of your sports, of the world of sports and everything else in between. So yo, shout out to all the guys, Toxic Dan, K Dub, and our super producer, man. He's enjoying that beautiful gift from God. So yo, on behalf of Sports Stations Podcast, we see you later. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, you could have at least hit the applaud button.
Yeah, I don't think he on that applaud button. Yeah, we still live. We gotta act like we faded out.
Let me behave.
Yeah.
The bus driver frozen.
Oh, he left us.
All right, fellas.
Word.
All right, Ryan.
Peace out.
Peace.